to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast, the most listened to daily Miami Dolphins podcast on the internet.
Miami's got the Dolphins, the greatest of all.
Come on, Dolphins fans. Time to fins up.
We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl. Cause we're the Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number one. Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number one.
Hello, Miami Dolphins fans. How are you today? And thank you for listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast on this Wednesday, July the 30th. I am Michael Leva. That's Marissa Marino. Marissa, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. Glad to be on a live show. How are you all?
Yes, I'm doing great. And we have a very special guest and someone who was very special to me because when I started this podcast over 10 years ago, he was our very first guest. He is the Big O, Orlando Alzugaray. Be sure to follow him on social media at Big O Show and check out his YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed at Big O Radio Show. Orlando, long time no talk. How you doing?
I am doing great, Mike. Melissa, thank you. Marissa, I'm sorry. Thank you for inviting me once again. And by the way, Marissa, I wonder if your dad feels the pain I felt from after you watched those highlights with Evan Fryer. I'm just wondering if.
Yeah, I sent him a screenshot of what you said, and he's like, yeah, that hurts. It hurts. It hurts.
Okay. I was just wondering, Marissa. I was just wondering if your dad was feeling my pain, because that's what I felt right when you were talking about that on that post on Twitter. That was funny too.
Yeah, Dolphin fans, we feel a lot of pain. I think we're just numb at this point. So
yeah.
Yeah. Seems like every week's a new.
Although when you give Dolph fans like the reality, they're not too numb to it.
They push back.
Yeah, they kind of.
They don't like the truth. They don't like, which leads me to my first question. What a segue, Big O. That's why you're a pro. I listen to your show every chance I can get, and you and me are on the page on one topic where I think a lot of fans of the Dolphins are still in the dark, or they just don't want to see the truth. I've been very critical of our head coach, Mike McDaniel. I think the only person more critical of him than me is you. I think he's terrible. I don't think on a Sunday afternoon, I have no faith in him walking that sideline. The challenges he never wins. Play calling is questionable. Some of the players, as we've heard, don't really respect him. Why do you think more people haven't picked up on this yet? Because looking at this year, we got all the question marks in the secondary, offensive line, quarterback. Even if everything goes our way, check in our positive column, this guy's still the biggest issue, I think, with this team in 2025. He's got to get better, because if he doesn't, I don't care what anyone else does, we're screwed.
Yeah, the only problem is, and here's where we get to the point of, are you going to lie to yourself? You know what I mean? Like, is Preston Williams going to get better or better? Is he going to get mature? No, it doesn't happen, right? Ryan Tannehill, would he get to that point? And we were 7 years in, and it was like, do you see that he just doesn't have it at that moment when you need it? And so we're a fan base in denial a lot of times. And so we had a little bit of a carrot dangling out there, with the Tua Tyreek year where, they threw for a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns. And so I think people want this to happen because Mike is one of those guys that you don't hate the human being. We just hate the fact that, dude, you can't win a challenge. Dude, you can't outcoach the guy on the other team. Dude, you don't know when to stay with the run. It's like, we could just go on and, dude, you keep playing Julian Hill. It's just like nobody ever pays a price on this team. I could just go on. It's a laundry list.
It is.
All of a sudden, we think that he's just going to change. And we think that all of a sudden that person's going to become the coach that last year easily left 3 to 5 wins on the table. I mean, the man had Skylar Thompson around him for 3 years and had no idea he could play. And so when you get to it, wow, the guy can't play. And he had no idea. He couldn't even hand off. And that falls off. This is why, this is where I laugh at people when they say, oh, Tua, no, McDaniel saved Tua. Bull crap, dude. He believed in him at least. Of course, it's better than the guy that hated him before, the guy that couldn't stand him, the guy that didn't want him around. Of course, that's a difference. I mean, but when he was in Alabama, he balled. He sent Jalen Hurts to Oklahoma. You know what I mean? So this all just kind of, this guy doesn't know anything about quarterbacks. He hasn't proven that he can design an offense week in and week out that fools the other team. He just doesn't know how to do that. And so I don't know how. Does he get the plays in on time this year also? Will there be less pre-snap penalties? I mean, it's a laundry list. And for all of us to just think that magically the pixie dust is going to fall all over him and he's going to just, hey, all right,
It's year 4. If it hasn't happened already, it ain't going to happen.
It's got to happen. When you're a coach, it's got to happen right away. You got to show something. And I've never seen it in any moment from the first year all the way to this last year. In the first year, the guy didn't know what down it was in a playoff game, ladies and gentlemen. And by last year, he had a backup quarterback in his system for 3 years, and he had no idea that he couldn't play. No idea whatsoever. And then when he brought in Hundley, he didn't even change the offense for Hundley.
That's my issue. You got to change the offense. Okay. You don't have Tua.
Right. You bring in a running quarterback and you keep the same offense. Dude, he's not Tua. And these are things that, and if you lie to yourself, you can go ahead and lie to yourself. I don't do that on my show. I just can't do that because I don't do that to my friends. I won't do that to you guys. I've been doing this for 35 years. I've never changed. It's who I've been from the get-go. I'm the guy that says when X gets 10 interceptions, I say, trade him now that offseason. He had 7 the next 3 years. Because you just got to do it. And I got all kinds of hate. They don't want to hear the truth, and that's just kind of the way it is. So for any of us to think that Mike McDaniel all of a sudden is going to make an absolute, 180 and just make a complete change, I'm sorry, that's fantasy, man.
It really is. It really is, because it's not just 1 or 2 small things. It's a lot of things. And what got me was, I think it was year 1. It might have been year 2. I can't remember which year. At the Bills, late in the year, in the snow. We never won the snow. Yeah. Through 3 quarters, we ran for 172 yards. We end the game with 179 yards. At the end of the 3rd quarter, we have the lead on the road in the snow. They can't stop the run. What does he do? He gets away from the run. The playoff game versus Kansas City. I know it was cold. It was cold for them too. We actually were picking up guys at linebacker never played before. They actually played somewhat well. The offense had no game plan. And then after the game, our quarterback, because he's way too nice, is just saying, our coach, he was throwing him under the bus in like the nicest way possible. It's like,
I'm sorry, Mike, is that the play where he calls a screen pass for Tyreek?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the whole thing, it's just, there's so many red flags that I'm surprised this isn't talked about more, and it's just like assumed he's going to get better, which you can assume that, but there's a million red flags, and there's no.
Go to that drive against Baltimore, and it's Mostert 3, Mostert 6, Mostert 4, Mostert 5. Okay, we've driven all the way down to the other side. Now let's go for the passes, and he screws up the entire drive.
It's a lot.
Dude, do you see the team that beats your ass every time you've ever played? Well, right now you got them on their asses and you're putting it on them. Keep putting it on them. The Green Bay game.
I know.
That Green Bay game. You were pounding the hell out of Green Bay. And that's what I loved about this offseason, actually. And all this turmoil. I absolutely love this offseason in some fashions. In others, I know it frustrates you all, but I live in reality, so it doesn't. But I love the fact that, like I said before it started, I said this offseason had to be about the fat boys, okay, and stop being the disorderlies. And for those of you that don't know, there's a rap group called the Fat Boys, and they had a movie called The Disorderlies. So that's you've been the disorderlies enough. And he went and drafted a guard, went and bought a guard, went and drafted a defensive tackle, then drafted 2 more in the back end, and he added meat, which again, this guy thought he could just interchange guards or whatever. Oh, we have Rob Hunt. No, we don't need him. No, we can get anybody to play guard. No, you can't, bro. If you have an all-pro guard, keep him. Last time we had one, his name was Larry Little, and then we were like winning like Super Bowls. Why? Because if you dominate the line of scrimmage, everybody can win. I love the Canes this year. Why? Because Carson Beck won't have to do a lot of work. He'll get to be a quarterback and won't have to carry an offense like Cam did. He'll have an offensive line. He'll have a running game. He'll have a passing game. He'll have balance. I heard a media member foolishly say Tua, and you've probably heard your friends, your family members say Tua needs the perfect team. No, dude. Tua needs like a real football team around him. Like in Alabama, when there was a real football team, Jalen Hurts couldn't hang. He sent his ass packing to Oklahoma, and he went and won the title. At halftime, Saban goes, yeah, Jalen, you're not a passer. Yeah, I can run and I can block, but I need a passer. Tua, you're in. And they won the title. They didn't win it with Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts was, a complimentary piece to this title this year. It's not like he's this great passer. You have a great passer. The problem is they don't know how to build an offense here. And I think now Greer kind of took over a little bit, and he's kind of bringing in some meat. And that's the other thing that drove me crazy about McDaniel, that he just doesn't respect the run game. The Chris Brooks kid, we lost him at the beginning of the year, and then later on in the season, we're watching him run over the Dolphins. These are things that are unacceptable.
We do that with a lot of players. Gasecki leaves. He is doing. I mean, you see all of these players, and Big O, you were talking about the offensive line, and Tua has to have perfect this and perfect that. I mean, I think we can all agree that the offensive line has been an issue in Miami recent years. I mean, not only that, but now we go into this year. Armstead retired, and a champion as far as with the rookies and being a captain. They'll be starting a rookie at left guard. We have Jonas Savaianaya. We have a second-year player at left tackle. And then you have these guys that are coming off, we hate to say this word, the I word, but injuries. Jackson and Daniels are coming off of injuries. What do you think of this offensive line heading into this season? I mean, it's a lot of youth. Are you afraid that all the youth on there, do you see somebody really taking the lead in this offensive line and how it goes from here?
Anybody that tells you that they know what's going to happen, they'd be lying to you. I do love the Patrick Paul pick, and let's see how he develops. I like the Savaianaya pick. Let's see how he develops. Aaron Brewer was fantastic last year, so he just needs to get healthy and get in there. Mm-hmm. Daniels, he's got to get back to form, and then we'll see if he can, and I like Jackson, so I'm good. Now, they have no depth. None whatsoever, okay?
You don't like Larry Borum?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it is that's back there, Borum or anybody else. Actually, that's a lie. Keon Smith was growing on me.
He was good before he got hurt. He was ascending.
Before he got hurt, I really liked Keon Smith, and I thought he was developing into a guy that maybe could become a swing tackle for you. So we'll see how he comes back. But again, like you said, Marissa, injury. So we've got those issues. But that's like football all over the place, Kader Kohu wasn't an injury-prone guy, and here we go. He's gone for the year now. It sucks. So that's the sport. But, I have my own theories about why you're seeing thinness all over the football team, but that's my own theory, and I've talked about that on the show.
Fair enough. Well, and talking about Tua as well too. I mean, such a polarizing topic. I'm sure so many people. I mean, it's like you hate him, you love him, hate to love him, love to hate him. Like just people, they're just all over the board with him, and it's such a hot topic of conversation. He knows he needs to practice self-preservation. He knows he needs to be available. We cannot have another season where he is not available for 6 games.
Put it this way, Marissa, put it this way.
Yes.
Okay. Mike, Marissa, please answer this question. Give me these memories of yours. Give me the memories of Drew Brees winning games with his legs.
Didn't happen.
Okay. All right, Mike. Smart ass. Marino, how many games? Come on, give me those memories.
With his legs, never.
You smart ass. Okay, Tom Brady.
Yeah, definitely not.
He
Okay,
yelled. He would
Okay,
yell
you
offensive line, yeah.
you guys are smart. Okay, Peyton Manning.
Oh God, he was
God.
a cigar shop wooden Indian. He couldn't move if you paid him.
It's getting worse and worse.
That's my point.
Yeah,
Those guys were statues.
Yeah.
and it worked.
And Tua has to stop thinking. Bob Greasy, he could scramble a little bit to his credit, but as he got older, he couldn't move. But you blocked. And I'm sorry, we talk about Webb Sims, but we don't talk about a whole line. The last time we talked about a whole line, none of you were on planet Earth, and I was a kid. Okay? So this is where it gets, hairy, and that's where we've got to understand that you've got to build it the right way so you can actually have success. And Tua's, to me, the only problem that Tua has is because he has a coach that can't get plays in on time, so he won't be able to read the defense and adjust to it. He has to, the play's in, okay, let's run it, and he's at a disadvantage already. He's got a coach that can't win challenges. He's got a coach that can't counter challenge coaches out in the field. He's got a guy that can't stick to the run, and it's not Tua. This isn't I live this. This isn't Dan Marino going to Don Shula. Oh shit, I am not running that. You know what I mean? Because he had a running back and a running game that was inefficient. And that's where we have to get to the point. And then Tua thinks he's some kind of athlete. And he has to understand, he has Marino in the building. If you really watched his highlights, all his highlights are with his arm, none with his legs. Most of the quarterbacks that have titles, they don't run. Okay, they're actually guys that can win from the pocket. And that's the only time Tua puts himself and his team at a disadvantage, when he thinks he's a football player. And Dan Marino was not a football player. And neither was Joe Montana. And neither is Tom Brady. And neither is Peyton Manning. And some of the best quarterbacks in the history of the game, they're not football players. They're specialists. Just like a punter. Just like a kicker, dude. They do this with this. That's all they do. They can shift for a foot this way, a foot that way. Maybe they'll do a bootleg. Maybe they'll do a waggle, whatever. You change the launch point, and then they just fire. That's been the game for many years. So when you have those guys, block for them. And when you block for them and run for them, they get to do their job. And that's what you've never done for Tua. And that's why you don't get the results. And that's why you never got the results from Marino. You'll never get the results from anybody in between Marino to Tua. You never ran the ball. You never dominated at the line. So now Tua thinks, oh my God, I got to do everything. Oh, they intercepted me. Let me go tackle the guy. No, you idiots. You don't do that. And that's where Tua puts it. Marino got intercepted, and he'd be like,
exactly. He'd walk off the field during the play. Yeah.
Mother effing everybody. Mother effing the coordinator if he called the wrong play, or the receiver if he ran the wrong route, or if he screwed up, he'd be mother effing and all that. And then he's like, let me get back to the next one and I'll get you back. He wasn't going to go chase a guy. Tom Brady's not going to chase a guy that when Jason Taylor intercepts him, you think he's going to go chase Jason Taylor? No, he's not. He's going to preserve his body. Go eat his, avocado ice cream and live a good life and get you on the next one. That's what he's got to learn. Now, he talks a lot of good game. Mm-hmm. He said all the right things, which is the offseason. He did it once in his career. He didn't do it in Alabama. Busted up ankles, busted up hip. Here he's gotten busted up too with the concussions, all of that. He has never learned his lesson, and he has told us at times, I will play to the death, quote unquote. I'm kind of paraphrasing.
Yeah, okay? I
know. You guys know. I mean, we follow it.
And it drives me nuts when I hear no, just slide, just either throw it away, get down, or slide. It's not that tough. A lot of quarterbacks learn this in 8th, 9th grade.
We used to make fun of Ted Ginn.
Yeah.
We're the effing idiots.
Exactly. Wes
Why
Welker,
didn't
too.
Ted Ginn
Wes
stay in
Welker.
bound and put a shoulder into the guy? Because Ted Ginn would have been out of the league in 4 years and his body would have been broken in half. Meanwhile, he played smart and played for 12 years. Go watch Marvin Harrison play football. Go watch his highlights right now for those of you that are young and you know Marvin Harrison never wanted anything to do with contact. He would catch balls and literally sit down on the field. He'd watch a DB coming because he knew he was going to catch it. He'd catch it and he'd crawl down and that's it. And they'd tag him and they wouldn't hit him. Okay. Why? Because he wasn't going to take hits. Why? What is he? It's Marvin Harrison. He's not a big dude. What's he doing? You know what I'm saying? You're not Larry Fitzgerald and stuff. So you have to understand who you are. And Tua, he just doesn't understand who he is. If he does, Miami has a much better chance, I don't need to tell you all, of winning a lot more games with that guy in the line. That's it.
Yeah, all right. Tyreek Hill. Who this guy. I am 48. I've been watching this team my whole life, and this guy is one of the most unlikable, toughest players to root for that I've ever experienced. Maybe part of it's because I am getting older and my patience is less than. It's not there anymore. As I like to say, Tyreek Hill is an asshole, but he's our asshole. So we got to root for him on Sundays, unfortunately, at the end of the day. That's kind of how I view it.
Stuck with him.
Yeah, we're stuck with him. What's the odds this guy's not going to have an off-the-field incident this year? And is this just a ticking time bomb waiting to happen? If, God forbid, they start off 1-3, 2-5, are we just waiting for this just to explode?
Once again, are we going to go with track record? What is Tua's track record? Reckless play. What is Mike McDaniel's track record? Irresponsible play calling. What is Tyreek's track record on and off the field since he was in college? Bad decisions. So it's interesting, right? Everybody's got something. Chubb's got to prove he can stay, healthy. Phillips has to prove he can stay healthy. Tua's got to prove that he can stay healthy.
Austin Jackson
prove. But Austin is not an injury-prone player, so let's give him a break on that, overall.
Misses a lot of games.
Yeah, he missed a lot of games. But I mean, I'll give him a break right now. It's not like some of the histories that we're talking here about all the other things that are going on. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that have certain histories. And whether it's an injury history, whether it's your questionable history, whether it's your athletic history, whatever it is, whether it's your decision-making history, there's a lot of people that have a lot of things to prove, and that's why it's a very interesting season this year, and to expect everything to come to a crescendo, and all of a sudden there's going to be this chemistry, and then there's going to be magic on the sidelines, and Eric Spoelstra's spirit is going to walk right into Mike McDaniel's body or something. I'm sorry. I just don't.
No, I'm thinking the culture thing
of candy canes and unicorns. That's just not where.
Well, they're going out there together playing paintball and they're doing yoga and they're doing all that stuff. Pilates. It's like that's just make it's just like guys, really. You shouldn't be forced. You shouldn't be forced to do that. You should want to do it, and B, you shouldn't even matter really. Just go out there and do your job. But you touched on something a few minutes ago. I want you to talk more about. You sort of talked about you have your theory. I do listen to you as much as I can, obviously with work and other stuff going on. And I know the theory. And you're right. Mike McDaniel's under the most pressure, and they haven't invested in this team like they have in years past. He's got the worst roster he's had in 4 years, and he's got the most expectations because they haven't invested in him. Tell people that, because I think that's so interesting because A, it's right, and B, that's what fans, I don't think some fans have quite understood yet because I think they're still blind to it.
It's one of the most screwed up dynamics that has ever happened in Dolphin history. You extend the coach, you then find out that off season there's a crap ton of people in that building that don't believe in him, including players, and they are leaving left and right, and they don't want to be a part of this. You can point fingers or whatever you want, but he does not create that kind of an environment. Okay. And so then all of a sudden, I think the team and the hierarchy looked at each other and said, we got a problem here. we got a guy that's not getting the job done, and we extended him. What the hell are we going to do? And if you watch what's gone on the entire offseason, let me explain this dynamic to you. This is a coach that has proven to be mediocre year in and year out. He should have won 3 to 5 games last year. If you individually go through the games, a good coach would have had their team better prepared and everything and a chance to win some of those games, right? He didn't. And I can point at other games in the first couple of years too that he should have won. So you know that this guy is not good. So this is not Eric Spoelstra, okay, where, oh, you had a nice run. All right, hey, we're gonna take a little dip here, and we'll be back in another year or two, and we'll reload, and we got the right coach. You can't sell to the public, to your season ticket holders, that you have now. This is the worst team he's had in 3 years, and now all of a sudden, if he has a down year, which he should, you're going to bring him back again. So watch the entire offseason. They didn't pick his kind of guards. They went and beefed up the defensive tackles. A lot of the draft was mostly defense to take care of Weaver. They've got Weaver in the wings. Okay. I think they didn't want to fire and couldn't fire McDaniel because they would look terrible firing him now after they just gave him a contract that's about to start. So let's wait for cause. Go look. Now you have injuries in the secondary. You have a thin secondary, and the guys you brought in are injury prone. You have no depth in your offensive line. There's a lot of places that you have no depth, that if anything happens, injuries happen, you are toast overall. And it doesn't matter what you think of Wilson or Ewers. The guy that's coaching has never proven to develop a damn thing. Okay? Tua was a man and made himself way before this guy ever got there. He just got the ability to have the freedom finally to do what he could do out there. That's it. He was going to pick up his confidence and all that other stuff. So you look at everything that's been done. It's been done in a fashion that Chris Grier is completely and totally safe. Okay, because what you did this offseason was actually a super responsible offseason. They mortgaged no picks for the future. In fact, they loaded picks for the future.
Start stockpiling them. Yep.
And another trade, they picked up a 5th. If your ass is on the line and you're the coach, I don't want to see picks being moved to the next year. I may not even be here, dude. And so all of a sudden now you're seeing everything was done. Daniels is not a high-end free agent. He's a second-tier free agent at that guard spot. Nothing was done at a top level. Your Pro Bowl tight end comes to the office and says, I need a new contract. And you say, no problem.
Bye-bye.
We'll trade you.
Yeah, exactly.
What? No, I want to stay here. I want a new contract. No problem. We'll trade you. No. I want to be. No problem. We'll trade you. Why? You don't know if McDaniel's coming back next year. So why are you going to tie yourself to a 31-year-old tight end that may not fit? One of the problems that the Dolphins have had under Chris Grier, I love the talent they find, because a lot of talents come through here and some of the wrong talents walked out the door. You've kept some of the wrong, whatever it is, but a lot of talents come through here. Where you screwed up is all your coaches. And when you continue to have turnovers in coaches, you continue to have turnovers in philosophy. And then you're there sitting in the GM and you're trying to appease all these coaches, and you can't do that, dude. So you need to go get players that can translate to different schemes and say, hey, this is the way it's going to be. You guys have to adjust. And I think that's what happened this year now. This year he took over the draft because there was a lot of physicality in the draft. They went and got 2 big backs. This bonehead gets rid of big backs.
It's true.
Okay. All right. So you look at what's going on here. There's no way you can have a mediocre season and go 9-8, 8-9, 7-10, whatever, and then say, hey, by the way, Dolphin Nation, no problem. We'll get him next year. Mike McDaniel will be back. There's no freaking way. So I think he's gone by week 10 because eventually he'll prove he can't coach and he'll screw it up. And I think this is their chance to get Weaver in there, because if they wait till the end of the season and
Competition.
Weaver gets out on the open field, it's over,
Yeah.
bro. And he's not going to come back. So you appeased him this year with the draft. You took care of him by getting players that he needed, especially the only place you bothered to spend was safety. And what are the heart and soul of his defenses in the secondary? The safety. So you brought him Minka instead, and you can draft corners. So next year you're going to see it's going to be a secondary type draft. I'm sure there's going to be at least corners drafted next year in the draft, and they'll take care of that. They took care of the main safety. They'll figure out another one of the safeties, and they'll go draft corners next year. I mean, the writing's on the wall. You got your rushers, you got your middle, you got some pretty good backers overall. You'll take care of that next year. So for me, I think there's a lot of stuff has been planted and prepared for a transition from McDaniel to Weaver, but they're not going to tell you they were tanking years ago, and Flo didn't even want to believe it, and he's the guy that was supposed to tank. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, we all knew they were trying to tank, but Flo didn't get the message. He's like, tanking? What? What are you guys talking about? What? And so he screwed it up. You know what I mean? You would have had Joe Burrow, I'm sure, if he would have actually gotten the message. You know, and so this was the year. That was the year we needed Cam Cameron, ladies and gentlemen. That's our
Just
line.
play Josh Rosen. Just play Josh Rosen every play. We would have been fine. Joe Burrow's here. That's all.
Right.
We gave up a second-round pick for him, and we didn't play him. Blows my mind how no one's on the same
You gotta
page.
stay with them, fans. We invested in him. We believe in him. Coach, you're 1-14. We believe in him. We know he's going to win, and that's what you should have done. But the idiot didn't get the message. Here, they're not telling you, but they're telling you, because there's been zero urgency for anything this offseason. You need corners, bro.
That's it. They needed corners. They didn't sign one until they all got hurt.
Out, and Asante Samuel's hanging out, and they're like, I hear they want $4, $5, $6 million or more, and so that's they're kind of priced out right now, and people don't want to pay them. But still, it's just they have. There's no urgency, dude. Oh, we lost our tight end. All right, let's bring a bad rapper who retired.
It's true. Yeah,
you know
it's true.
what I mean? And then you know what I hate about it? Now we put, if they sign Noah Fant, we make him like he's the second coming. The man has 15 touchdowns in 6 years. He's averaged 400, 500, 600 yards. Let's relax. He's a nice tight end. He'd be better than.
But it
anything.
makes the Waller trade look stupid. Like they don't know what they're doing. Why trade for Waller at that point?
No, I think the Waller thing was a minimal salary. They paid him $1 million instead of 1.3. And so I think it was just like an experiment, like because he has Pro Bowl talent, but he's in his 30s already. Hey, let's see if it happens. Again, it's the kind of shit that will fail. So that's my point.
Yeah, no, that's your point. And you're right, too, on McDaniel. I've been saying he don't need a passport. He ain't making it to Spain. He ain't going to be there by the time they're in Spain. That's my opinion. I hope I'm wrong, but if I had to guess, he ain't. And you're right about no urgency.
The only road game I'm going to. So if Weaver's in Spain, dude, I'm drunk.
A lot of places over there to get drunk at. A lot of good places.
All right.
And it's true. Sense of no urgency. You're right. And for fans who might not see it that way, just look at the secondary. They didn't try to address it until the guys started to fall last week. Artie Burns, Cater Coe, some other guys who aren't as well-known guys. Like, that's when we got to get corners.
You're next, Mike.
Yeah,
You're next.
I'm
They're
next.
going to be calling you soon. And Marissa.
I got to work on my 40 time. I got to work on my 3 cone drill.
Dolphins, you ready? There you go. Let's go.
Open tryouts to the public. Well, okay. To reel it in for a second here. You talked about, Noah Fant. We talked about Darren Waller. We know we're going to be making up for some huge production with the loss of Jonnu Smith. I mean, 884 yards, 8 touchdowns, set all kinds of tight end records. I mean, Mike McDaniel, you're coming from a Coach Shanahan tree. Tight ends are meant for this offense. We haven't utilized them really much at all. So How do you think Miami is going to replace that production this year? Are you thinking that we need to do what we've been talking about and rely on more of a heavy run game? Or do you
They-
think that the two guys we paid, Hill and Waddle, need to like step up production as opposed to what we saw last year?
I think Hill and Waddle won't be their best until we get the run game going.
Yeah.
Because until you suck that linebacker in and that safety, and they've got to worry about it, the Dolphins have to completely turn the corner and be a run-oriented team that has one of the best passers in the NFL, the most accurate passer in the NFL. But you want to make Tua better, give him a run game, dude. Make sure you bring in the middle of the field, you open it up, and now you're going to get one of those two burners on the outside is going to be Solo, and then you're going to open up the middle of the field. But I think that's why this offseason was nothing like McDaniel. You got the big backs, you got the guards. I think I think you've kind of sent a message about what you want to do, and I think McDaniel has gotten that message. Now, it's in there, by the way. It's in the building. They want to run. We'll see if they can commit to it. But if you want to keep Tua healthy, run the ball. If you want to maximize Tua, run the ball. If you want to keep Tua from doing stupid things, run the ball. Okay? And get your plays in on time. Be organized. Be able to counter the other side when they come at you. You can't be like what you did with the guy from the Chargers, that he kicks your ass and then it takes a whole year for you to figure out what to do. No, you got to figure out in the same game how to counter all that stuff, and you just can't do that. And so he's got to do all of that, but nothing is going to help the Dolphins offense, Marino or Tua, if you would run the ball. If you actually ran the ball and dominated on the offensive line, it might have been you needed a good defense, but things might have been different with Marino. But you put all the weight in the world on that freak, and you're lucky that he was a freak. Tua's a hell of a passer, but he's not the freak that Marino is. Marino is a completely different monster that is a once-in-a-lifetime monster, and we screwed that one up. And why? Because Shula couldn't do what he did in the 70s. He didn't run the ball. I mean, Bob Greasy won a Super Bowl throwing 7 passes.
I know. People have no idea.
Oh, no. I saw that stat. I was like, what?
Yeah. So,
yeah, but you're getting 8 yards on the ground each time you run. Why not run? You get 8 yards to carry.
You have Zonka kick Morris. Why would you put the ball in the air? There's no reason to. Warfield, when they least expect, you're just pounding, boom, over the top, and it's over. And that's what you do. And that's what real quarterbacks need. That's what they all need, dude. You got to run the ball. And so let's see if that line can stay healthy, if they can get the run game going and really build that offense. If they do that, we would have a hell of a fun time this year, but we're also asking them to stay healthy. That's not easy.
Yeah. And, we're asking them if you're trying to pick up half a yard to run the ball as well. That, it's back to the basics, Big O. I mean, back to the freaking basics is where we're at right now. Elementary school football.
I mean, watch the teams that win. They win at the line of scrimmage. They dominated the line of scrimmage. And that's where our teams have completely failed for decades now. It's 4 decades. 4 decades of constant failure at the lines of scrimmage. And that's why our Dolphins don't get over the hump. Simple. It's really not that difficult.
Well, we're going to have some fun here real quick. Okay. We are going to do a Dolphins Talk speed round. This is my new favorite segment we do. 5 questions with Big O. And this is going to be lightning style. As quick as you can come up with these answers, we're going to go through these 5 questions.
Okay. Shoot.
My question is, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. All right. So question number 1. What is the best concert you have ever been to?
Wow, that is going to be a tough
You've been to a lot of them because you're a music guy. I know that.
Yeah, that's a lot. But you know what? In hindsight, I'll go U2 Unforgettable Fire Tour, second row, Hollywood Sportatorium. That's
Now,
what
is that because it's fresh in your head because of everything that's gone? Well, no, that was
the early
Oh.
80s. There's
Yeah.
nothing fresh there, Marissa.
Yeah, no, you're right. We were talking about that in a conference. Okay. Question 2.
Yes.
Are both Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel in their same roles with the Dolphins 1 year from today? I feel like I know your answer, but
No shot.
no
No
shot.
shot. Chris Greer survives. Mike McDaniel gets fired, which tells me McDaniel really wasn't his pick, because there's no way you keep the GM around to hire his third coach. So that tells me if that happens, make sure you put that in your memory bank. Something happened there. There were some other influences in the Mike McDaniel hire. One more thing on that question.
It's okay. Yeah.
Chris Greer. His dad and Chris Greer come from the Parcells,
Patriots.
Belichick
Parcells,
tree.
Patriots. Yep.
Okay. In fact, his dad is the one that had the influence in the pick for Tom Brady. Okay, as a personnel guy. His brother is a GM in hockey. And
San Jose Sharks. Yep.
Okay. Greer comes from an old school style coaching, old school, all of that stuff. Okay. The first time he gets an opportunity to hire a guy, he goes and picks somebody off the Belichick tree. Then all of a sudden, he picks a guy that does not resemble anything in his entire career. So as the late great Mad Dog would say, I put it to my nosy and it don't smell so rosy. So I'm just gonna leave it.
Well, I just want to say too, he doesn't need a branch now from the Belichick tree. If he wanted to, you can get the whole damn tree.
Yeah. And
he's out there.
I'm just like, yeah. And then they went that direction. And if he survives, and that tells me one was on him, this one was on somebody else or whatever. But since Greer, as you all know, is known as the guy that'll work with everybody, and that's maybe been a little bit of he even admitted in the offseason, right? And I think that's been, the dude can pick, the dude can find players, the dude can make trades, like this last move here with Minka. I did not see this coming, because I was like, no way you give Minka a contract right now before Sealer. But SOBs, they
got him,
freed it up. You're going to keep Minka. It's the only guy you're paying your secondary anyway. I mean,
you got nobody else.
You got like a Marlins secondary there going on in the Miami Dolphins. So you could spend on your one safety. You're not spending anything on your other safeties and corners. So you could do that. It's crazy, man. It's crazy what's going on. So anyway, that's my theory out there also on that. Go ahead.
Wonderful. Love it. All right. So what happens first? The Marlins win a playoff series or the Dolphins win a playoff game?
Oh, Dolphins will win a playoff game eventually. Yeah. I mean, the Marlins don't spend. So, I get it. We're hoping for the Tampa Bay model, where they do just enough to get there, but really never enough to get over the top. I get that. That's what we're trying to mirror. But I'm going to give the Dolphins a little love here, and I'm hoping. See, some of you are like, I get it. You're fans, and you want this whole year to work out. I'm looking.
I have zero expectations. I have zero expectations
for this year. I'm looking for individual accomplishments from different guys and maybe groups getting better, and then the switch to Weaver. When the switch to Weaver that's when my sales get the wind. That's when I really start to feel good, because I like that dude. I give him a chance. I don't give the other guy a chance.
Here's what I want to see this year.
If
Grant play well,
Weaver, I'll get a playoff win in the next year or two.
I want to see Grant, Savanaya, Chop, Paul, and Waddle, not Hill, Waddle, take a step and be guys who can be the foundation.
Amen.
Moving forward. If we go 8-9, 7-10, 6-11, I don't care. If we have something to build off of heading into next year, I'll take that.
That's what I love right there. How about Grant, dude?
I think he's going to be good.
He has Sealer next to him and the Werewolves on the outside.
I think he's going to be good.
Like he's going to get all the single coverage. Like nobody's going to give a shit about him. I'm sorry for my French.
No, you're
But
fine.
they're all going to worry about everybody else. And so Grant could not be in a better position because you must scheme for the outside guys, and then Sealer's a disruptor. So Grant has every opportunity to have a fantastic year. It's going to be fun. The front seven is going to be fun to watch, but it's going to be very Josh Boyer-ish. You better get to the quarterback because those dudes back there are going to get roasted and toasted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For those who missed my show, and I'm so sorry, Marissa, this is nothing but a speed round.
The longest speed round
we're throwing out the speed
ever.
round. For those who missed my show last night with Josh Moser, he dropped the nugget, and you know where it's coming from. Zach Sealer is going to get new money and extension by week 1. It is going to happen. There's no doubt it's not going to happen. And that's coming from a guy who knows the guy who's going to make it happen. So any fans who missed that, Zach is going to be here.
The second they did that with Minka, it was done.
Minka, yeah. And plus, he wouldn't be out there every day if it wasn't going to happen.
And by the way, they'll rework it where the number will be low this year, and then it'll be decent next year.
And then it goes way up.
You know, 2 years down the line. But the next 2 years, it'll give them a little bit more, you know, space. Plus, they get cap space next year. The cap will go up, all that other stuff. So that's why I'm telling you that this year, it's like a transition year of one coach to the other, and then you set up, and then next year you go into the draft with extra picks, and you go get your backs and all that kind of stuff, and now you have young backs for a while, and then you know you can spend some money and you can really set it up for Weaver. I think they stopped investing in Mike McDaniel this year. That's what I think.
You're right. You're right. You're 100% right.
I could just give you and Mike a show, and you guys could just go back and forth for like 5 hours. You could do like a marathon episode.
No, because we think a lot alike.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm just over here like, okay, let's let these guys cook for a second.
A lot of people just want to lie to themselves, and they have the hope. And I get it. Look, I always say no one wants to hear bad things about their favorite team. No. I get it. But at some point, after all these years, if you just can't say, like, they'd rather climb a tree and tell themselves a lie than just stand on the ground and tell the truth. And to some point, she's going to stand on the ground and tell the truth.
I get the same thing from the Heat fans. I tell them, dude, you have no shot at these guys. Stop it already. Riley has no picks. He has no cap space. He has nobody to trade. People don't want your stuff. And every year they're lining, oh, yeah, we'll get the rent this year, and we'll get the Doncic, and we'll get this, and we'll get that. You're not getting anything, and they don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, we live in a society now that everybody goes and finds that vacuum that they belong.
Everyone's in a silo, and they want their silo to tell them what they want to hear.
And it's only what they want to hear, you know. And if it's not what you want to hear, oh my God, you're evil. And so I've been evil for a long time.
Yeah, same here. I like being the villain. I like being the villain.
Back to the speed round.
Last one.
All right. I don't think we could go on it. Well, we might be able to go on a tangent on this. Question 4. What is your favorite sandwich?
My favorite sandwich?
Yes.
Ooh, wow.
I know.
I'm gonna go with a Philly chicken sandwich.
Ooh, I love a Philly chicken. Are you doing peppers, onions, provolone, the works?
Yes. Provolone, peppers. But I don't do any not mayo or any kind of.
I throw mayo all over it.
Yeah, I'm not a mayo guy, but the peppers I'm good with, the tomatoes and all that good stuff, and yeah. So I'm gonna go with a chicken Philly.
Chicken Philly, I love it.
A Jersey Mike's chicken Philly. I actually enjoy their chicken Philly.
Well, since you guys went on a tangent, I have a quick question. Do you guys have where you're at a steak escape?
I don't.
New York Prime in Boca.
Okay.
It's my favorite place for steak. And if you come down here, Marissa, go to New York Prime and order. Do you like shrimp?
I love shrimp. Okay,
they have a garlic shrimp. It is the greatest appetizer for shrimp that you will ever have in your life.
Okay.
So it's called New York Prime, and it's right off of I-95, right in Boca. So
I'll make Mike take me there for all my hard work.
Yeah.
That place is awesome.
I mentioned Steak Escape because all they have is a whole board of Phillies, chicken, turkey, every Philly you can imagine, and it's drive-through. So it's like in here where I live, it's pretty incredible. Okay. So final question. I feel like this is not going to be a fast one. Who is on your Miami Dolphins Mount Rushmore? Oh wait, he's already got it.
Got props.
I got props.
Like Carrot Top. Like Carrot Top.
Okay. So that's, I mean, that just goes without saying who's number one.
We could just point to my last name right there on the screen.
Yes. Dan for me is like, I hate what we did to Dan.
Yeah.
Just didn't give him the team that he deserved. Let's see. All right, I'm going to go Marino 1, Zonka 2, Zach Thomas 3, Jason Taylor 4, and Nat Moore 5.
I like it.
Nat Moore's my favorite receiver of all time. I know he's not Paul Warfield, and I know he's not the Marx brothers, and I know
good player though. Good player.
By the way, I'd take him over Tyreek every day of the week and twice.
And today we're officially 39 days away from Dolphins Colts football, which is Larry Zonka number of days away. So there you have it.
Yeah. But I love Nat Moore. Love Nat Moore. He was so awesome, a true professional, a true consistent man in everything, on the field, off the field. Just they don't make him better than that dude. Put it that way. So he makes it in my top 5. There you go.
All right. Well, we love you, Big O. We thank you for your time tonight. You're very gracious with it.
And Mike and you got to really just. Well, I feel like that was a therapy session for you both. You just got to let it out.
Because you go on social media, which I try not to too much, and it's like you read the stuff. It's like, guys, you're just setting yourself up for a bigger disappointment if you believe half the bullshit you're saying. And it's just, it's like there is a reality to this here that is hitting people in the face.
Something that's been going on that bothers me a little bit. Okay, and I've kind of been calling it out. And I get it. Media has stuff to talk about, write about this and that, and they go talking up Albert Wilson, and and I'm like, yo, you know who Albert Wilson is? Relax. And then eventually you find out who Albert Wilson is, and then it's Albert Wilson's fault that you talked him up, and that's what's going on nowadays. And we're doing it to some of these guys now. Like Ethan Bonner's never proved anything. And now it's like people are like, well, Ethan Bonner's got to step up now. Well, what do you mean got to step up? The guy's got to even prove he belongs in the damn NFL. You know what I'm saying? Don't even put expectations on the guy because he doesn't even deserve to have expectations. And it's kind of what we do. We build some of these guys up, and we think like, again, the tight end that they signed,
Waller.
Waller, the guy's 33. He quit football. Psychologically, this guy may not necessarily be. And we got people he'll get his Pro Bowl form here. And it's like, and then when he doesn't, you blame him. No, blame yourself for putting unrealistic expectations on some of these young men when they don't deserve it. They haven't done anything whatsoever to prove that they belong or anything like that. So why would you think that? And that's what we do. We kind of build it up, and we're doing that, at times. And I wish we wouldn't do that because it's really not the player's fault. It's really the media hyping it up, and then fans take that and go with it. And then they look at the player and then they pick on Preston Williams. And dude, Preston Williams is who he is. Stop talking about like he's going to be a number 1 wide receiver. The guy has to prove he even belongs in the league.
He was undrafted for a reason.
Exactly, Mike. And so
it's undrafted for a reason.
And we have undrafted guys that we're like putting the weight of the world on them at times, and it's just not fair, dude. It really isn't.
It's like with Waller. Mike McDaniel stands there. He's in great shape. Best shape of his life. Then why is he on PUP?
Come on, bro.
Why is he on PUP?
I mean, it's
the best shape of his life.
None of it made any sense whatsoever. No. The guy was doing like those tough man competition, like not fighting, but it was like endurance type things. Go look at his IG. He's in sick shape. So now's when you want him on the field without the pads and all that stuff and running routes. What we're going to ease him into what, dude? He's a proven player already. He's been in football locker rooms. He's run routes. What is there to wait for? This is not some guy from Division III that's never played. This isn't Bayron Matos at that position. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I know what you're saying.
International player that like, oh my God, this is,
just picked up football last week. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, this is a guy that knows everything. And the fact that he's not out there, and then you went and knocked on the door of Noah Fant, and then you're trying, it's mutual interest. I wondered why that comment came out of McDaniel, like the Noah Fant thing, mutual interest. So it's like you're also saying that he was interested in coming here, and that's kind of like not cool. You know what I'm saying? You kind of should say, oh yeah, we wanted to see who he is. So it's kind of weird. Like we wanted to talk to him, but we're not that desperate for him. What do you mean you're not that desperate? You don't have anybody. I don't know.
I know. I hear you.
It's like X plus Y equals orange or something at the Dolphins. It's just none of it mathematically. The equation just isn't jamming. So,
yeah.
But we shall see with preseason in week 1, shall we?
Yes.
Yeah. Shan't we?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the season in that sense, where I get to watch football, I get to watch my favorite team, and I'm just hoping that individually some of these guys grow, so you have foundational pieces for the future. But I'm not going to lie to myself. I'm not expecting any kind of playoffs this year. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. If they
not
do
the
it,
AFC.
Yeah.
dude, if they do it, it'll be the Wildcat year or something.
Mm-hmm.
You think I expected them to do what they did the Wildcat? Nobody expected them to do the Wildcat year. So we thought they would be lucky to even survive with 500 that year, and look what they ended up doing. So that would be the equivalent of what I don't have any expectations, but if you want to surprise me, I would love
I'm here
it.
for it.
We welcome it.
Yeah. All right, Big O. Thank you so much, everyone. Again, YouTube, be sure you're subscribed to a Big O radio show. He's got a show pretty much each and every day, I think, and it's awesome. Check it out. And also on social media at Big O Show. Orlando, I'm sure we'll talk to you again down the road. Thanks so much for your time tonight.
Anytime. Have a great one.
Thank you so much for joining us. Truly appreciate it. And good to watch you and Mike go back and forth. I had a front row spot for it.
There we go. You know, 2 quarterbacks in 25 years.
And fins up, baby. Fins
all the way up.